collect an estimated $15 million. He ends his day. Tomorrow, Rockman is coming to sign.
I think we want to go out this way.
Next morning, Rockman's manager, Stan Hoffman, meets up with Kushner. They've worked together for years. Rockman is due to get in from his Baltimore home later in the day to sign the deal. It's the biggest these two have ever done, but they don't let it get in the way of their daily routine, a walk together in Central Park.
Rolling along together. How do you feel about it? We have to fight.
Kushner learns that Rockman is being courted by more than just the boxing networks.
So he's fighting for...
He's been contacted directly by Tyson's manager, Shelley Finkel, to set up a match cutting out Kushner.
No, but I think that they...
The other approach is a rival promoter, Don King.
When I met with Stan Hoffman, his manager, he told me that Rock told him about these meetings and that none of us should alarm ourselves. He wasn't going to do a deal by himself with Shelley Finkel for Mike Tyson, and I needn't worry, he wasn't going to do a deal by himself with Don King.
No, we've got a great team, I think, and listen, you know, there is a great deal of luck obviously involved, but at the same time, there's an enormous amount of work. I don't have to tell you. It's something you see Cedric doing all day, every day, and that's what we're involved in, constantly.
I love humility, and we went to lunch yesterday with Hassim, and a driver happened to open the door for him, and he was quite agitated at that fact. He said, "You don't have to open the door for me."
Well, the reason was he wanted the driver to lift him into the car, and all he did was stand there. But that
typifies him, really.
Yeah. You know what? One thinks so. One likes to believe that. I believe it. It's because...
Are you suggesting I don't?
No. I can't talk for him. I believe that he does appreciate most of what people have done for him.
No, he's a very bright...
Yeah.
He's a bright guy. He knows.
He knows. Yeah.
But listen, he's done something for us too. Let's tell the truth.
Sure.
It's absolutely a two-way street.
I didn't know we were supposed to tell the truth.
Despite Hoffman's assurances, Kushner is worried about King's approach to his fighter.
But anytime Don King's around, talking to your fighter without behind your back, you can guarantee that you're in trouble. And so I felt very uneasy about the situation.
And he has good reason. 3 years earlier, King tried to take Rockman away from Kushner. The attempt failed, and Kushner is now taking King to court on racketeering charges. Throughout his 30-year career, King has repeatedly demonstrated his persistence in capturing and holding on to champions and potential champions. One fighter who resisted was William Guthrie.
The sport of boxing is something that I love. The business of boxing is the part that turns my stomach.
King first set his sights on the boxer nicknamed Chocolate when he had just won a national championship. Soon after, he was ranked world number 2 in the IBF light heavyweights. Guthrie knew all about shady business. In his early 20s, he served time for drug dealing. Boxing was his way out. He'd come a long way. Now King was offering him a shot at a world title for his first fight under contract. The reigning IBF champion, Virgil Hill, was promoted by Cedric Kushner. King scheduled the fight for a month after Guthrie signed. But it was only when Guthrie arrived for the match that he got a taste of what life with King would be like.
Virgil Hill wasn't fighting me. Supposedly he pulled out. This is the way it came to me. The King's supposedly really upset. But he got me another fighter, another opponent. I took the fight. and I beat the guy. Then I found out later, that this guy had been in training for me the whole time that I was training for Hill. This guy was training for me. He knew he was fighting me. Hill never agreed to fight me.
The same thing happened in 3 subsequent fights. Each time, Guthrie believed he would be fighting Hill. Each time he faced a different opponent. Each time his opponent had trained to fight him. And Guthrie was getting only half the money he'd been promised.
He kept doing what he intended to do, and that was screw me in one way or the other.
So far, Guthrie had won every fight, and each one had put money into the pocket of Don King.
Well, I'll never forget that I was in his home, and his family, with his family and his children and his grandchildren were there. And they were running through the house, some of the children. And I never seen them smile. But now, at the mention of money, to talk about money, he laughed, he smiled. His wife walked in, his children walked in, his grandchildren walked in. And I never seen a smile. And that to me is a man that you should never ever trust.
Guthrie couldn't figure out why King wouldn't make the fight with Virgil Hill. Years later, Hill told Guthrie he knew nothing about the series of fights King had promised. Guthrie was now the mandatory contender of the IBF title, but despite King's promises, the fight still didn't happen. A year after signing, Guthrie decided to ditch his contract with King. Another promoter wanted him and was offering him a bright future. Chocolate met with King to give him the news.
Don says, hey, listen, this is always how these white folks do business. They always want to come in and rob and steal from the black man. I do all the work, and they come in and steal from me. This ain't going to happen, So he's preaching that this has happened so many times to him over the years with so many fighters, that the white man always comes in, and these young black guys, they so dumb, they don't understand, what has to happen. He's black and he has their best interest at heart. Who is this white man going to, how would he treat you? How is he going to treat you? You know how they going to treat you, and that's his sell.
As the conversation went on, King demonstrated his power and influence with the IBF and its president, Bob Lee Sr.
He had said it over and over. If you don't stay with me, but if you do this, go on with these people, it's over. You're not going to fight for the world title. And he made a phone call on the speakerphone, right at his table, right to Bob Lee's house. I guess he called him at home, because he answered the phone, and he was on speakerphone. And the conversation went like this. He says, hello, King. Hey, how you doing? This Bob, how you doing, baby? What's going on? He says, well, I mean, what's happening? I got this kid here, Chocolate, Chocolate, yeah. And he went on, and, oh, yeah, he good fighter, He said, well, he's up to fight for the championship, and now they're coming in, they're trying to steal him. They want trying to put it on me again, Take this kid off, his whole life up.
King's message to Lee was clear. Tell Guthrie he stays with me, or he doesn't get to fight for the title. Bob Lee did as he was told.
Bob said, now, once you guys clear up your business, in court and stuff, then, yeah, he can come back, but, hey, that's down the road. Well, I come to the conclusion that Bob Lee was just another flunky of King's. It was clear to me that King had a major amount of influence over him, and that he would do anything.